This well-known and deeply respected plant, often dismissed as just a pretty roadside flower, was a true healing wonder. It was a living testament to a powerful truth, that gentle does not mean less effective. Though its presence was exceedingly gentle, its impact was potent, effective, and deeply profound. Its healing properties weren't just folklore, they were backed by official medical documents or pharmacopoeias in 26 countries, where it had been approved to treat everything from colic and indigestion to muscle spasms, tension, inflammation, and infection. Though small in stature, this plant, known to herbalists as chamomile, loomed large in any home herbalist's medicine cabinet, a quiet giant of the natural world. The journey with this plant often began in the garden. It was easily grown from seed, and its preference was to be sown directly in the garden in early spring. It was a surprisingly undemanding plant, favoring dry, light, and well-drained soil. It wasn't overly fussy, which was a relief to many a gardener. Interestingly, a rich, fertile soil would produce larger and lusher foliage, but a less rich soil would often yield more prolifically and more potent flowers. The plant seemed to know that its strength lay not in its size, but in the power concentrated within its small, white-petaled blossoms. It was a sun lover, but also appreciated cooler weather, sometimes getting a bit leggy or bolting in the full, oppressive heat of summer. For those who lived in hotter areas, the secret was to sow the seeds very early in the spring, allowing the flowers to bloom and be harvested before the full heat of summer took hold. In some special places, with just the right conditions, you could even get two harvests, one in the glorious cool of early spring and another in the late, gentle embrace of fall. Harvesting this plant was a tactile, meditative act. When the flowers were fully open and at their most fragrant, you could use your fingers like a gentle rake, combing through the delicate plants and pulling the blossoms up between your fingers into a gathering basket. This technique was far more efficient than trying to collect each small flower individually, a practice that could test the patience of a saint. Commercial harvesters, of course, took a less delicate approach, using rakes similar to those used for blueberries or cranberries to gather buckets of blossoms at a time. The plant was lovely when planted near paths, because as you brushed up against it, it would release a delicious apple or pineapple-like fragrance into the air, a small, fragrant gift. In days of old, it was even known as the plant's physician, as it was said to cure whatever ailments the plants near it suffered. It remained a popular companion plant in gardens, planted near others to help keep them healthy and disease-free, a generous healer to all. But the true magic of chamomile lay in its medicinal uses, hidden within those unassuming flowers. They contained rich amounts of azulene, a volatile oil with a whole range of active principles that served as anti-inflammatory and anti-fever agents. This made it a useful tool for treating arthritis and other inflammatory conditions. The gentle touch of chamomile could even lull the most pained body to sleep. In one clinical study, 10 out of 12 people who drank chamomile tea instead of taking their regular pain medication at bedtime for general aches and pains, headaches, or arthritic pain, went into a deep, restful sleep within 10 minutes of retiring. The results were astounding, proving the power of this gentle plant to rival pharmaceutical solutions for common ailments. Other clinical studies had simply confirmed what generations of herbalists had long known. This common wayside plant offered excellent support for both the nervous and digestive systems. The flowers made a wonderfully calming tea that was a go-to remedy for easing stress and nervousness, promoting a deep and restorative sleep and aiding digestion. For infants and children, chamomile tea was a time-honored, popular remedy for calming colic and soothing childhood digestive issues, its gentleness a perfect match for the tender bodies of the young. The tea could also be added to bath water, creating a wonderfully relaxing and soothing bath that could melt away the tensions of a long day. And for a more direct application, the plant could be used to make an excellent massage oil for relieving stress, anxiety, and muscle soreness, its calming essence sinking deep into tired tissues. Perhaps the simplest and most profound way to experience this plant was through a cup of tea. Nothing could be simpler than making a calming chamomile tea, whether with fresh or dried flowers, and few things were more calming and peaceful. You would prepare an infusion of the flowers, using 1 teaspoon of dried flowers or 2 teaspoons of fresh flowers per cup of water. You'd let it steep, covered, for 15 to 20 minutes. An important note, chamomile contains bitters, so the longer it's steeped, the stronger those bitters became. For a better tasting, less bitter infusion, it was best to steep it for a shorter period. You could drink 2 to 3 cups daily, or as often as needed, for a lasting effect on your nervous system. Its calming effects were not fleeting, they were profound and cumulative if used over a period of several weeks. It was wonderful on its own, but also blended beautifully with other herbs that supported the nervous system, such as lemon balm and rose petals, creating a fragrant, tranquil symphony of flavor and healing. Its gentleness and safety made it excellent for infants and children as well as for adults. Beyond the tea, there were other simple yet effective ways to use this plant. For example, to relieve eye stress and strain, dark circles, or puffiness, you could make chamomile eye packs. You would simply place 2 chamomile tea bags in hot water and let them sit for a couple of minutes until they were thoroughly saturated. After removing them, you would let them cool to a tolerable temperature and then place 1 tea bag directly over each eye. Lying back and relaxing with these packs on for 15 to 20 minutes was an incredible way to de-stress and soothe tired eyes. And for a truly immersive, full-body experience of its calming properties, nothing beat a calming herbal bath. Immersing yourself in an herbal bath was much like stepping into a giant cup of tea. Your pores would open up, absorbing the healing properties of the herbs, and the warm water would relax you while it cleansed. It was healing at its finest. To prepare this tranquil experience, you would mix together a handful each of dried chamomile blossoms, lemon balm leaves, and rose petals. You would place this mixture in a large muslin bag, an extra-large tea strainer, or even an old nylon stocking, and attach it directly to the faucet so the hot water ran through it as the tub filled. Then you would dim the lights, perhaps light a candle, and immerse yourself in the calming essence of the herbs. You might even want to enhance the relaxing effects on your nervous system by sipping a cup of warm chamomile tea while you soaked, creating a holistic experience of peace and calm. The primary part of the plant used was the flower, though the leaf could also be useful. Its key constituents included azulene and other volatile oils, flavonoids, tannins, bitter glycosides, salicylates, coumarins, and a host of minerals like calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus. While this plant had a long and trusted history of safety, it was important to be aware of a specific safety factor. Some people were allergic to it, often those who also had sensitivities to other plants in the aster family, like ragweed. If you experienced itchy eyes or ears, a runny nose, a scratchy throat, or other signs of allergy after using it, it was important to discontinue use. But for the vast majority of people, this gentle, unassuming flower was a true gift of peace and healing, a quiet giant waiting to be discovered in every garden and every cup of tea.